Now that we spent ample time covering the prep and you understand that why the prep is so necessary, what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and get the treatment started. This is a power distribution center. What this is going to do is this is going to allow you to use a 220, 240 circuit to power your heaters without having to plug into multiple outlets. This particular unit, we're going to use the plug-in for the through-wall package unit, which again is called the Pt2B. As you can see, what I'm using here is actually going to work here. That may not be what you have. You may have something else. You may have a dryer. You may have a range. If that's the case, we also have the different size range cords and dryer cords. You can either order the proper cord for the box, or you can order all the cords. They can be acquired separately. In this, like I said, in this particular case, we're going to use this one. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick your box up. You want to make sure that your plug, see how you have different legs on there, and they coincide with the bottom of the box. What you want to do is make sure everything's lined up. You push that in and you twist it and it locks. You pull on a little bit, make sure when you put this in there that you twist that in and you assure it's locked. If not, what can happen is heat can build up here and it will cause these breakers to trip, which will cause your unit to cut off, cost you time, and cost you, precious heat that you're going to lose from waiting. Then what you're going to want to do is you want to plug this into the wall. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to reset all these GFCI outlets here. Okay? Each one of these has their own GFCI. Then you want to reset your breakers. Now we have power at each one of the outlets. And we're able to use that. This particular wall outlet plugs into here. Now we can plug all our equipment into one box. The next thing we're going to want to do is we want to go ahead and get our cords plugged into our heater.
Okay, now we have powered up, we have plugged in rather all of our outlets for our elements. They are 6 here. Each element is 7 amps each. Each one 7 amps. So, in a word about the power station, when you plug into a Pt2B, an AC unit, that's a through-the-wall AC unit, typically they are either 20 amps or 30 amps. And so that splits it down. It makes 2 poles of that, so you have 20 and 20 or 30 and 30. And if you have a 30 amp, you can run at least 5 of these cords. And what you do with the extra one, you find another circuit along the wall throughout the room. If you're running a 20 amp Pt2B, then you're going to run 3 to 4 of these, and that depends on the stability of your power. And then you will again find the rest of the power along the wall in another circuit. But we follow this. 7 amps each is what you're working with, and they go through the instructions here. So we have the power comes on after we're plugged in and powered up. Power comes on, then the thermostat, then the fan, then the heater. This heater is also designed that if there's any obstruction with the fan, with the flow of air, it will turn itself off. Or if it tips over, it will turn itself off. So from this point, this is the very important steps. You want to plug in your main line is D, which is outlined right here. But I would power up, get all these going to your power station or the circuitry in the room first. And these are lighted in cords. And then from there, go through your steps of powering up the system.
Okay, so what we want to do now is we're going to go ahead and get these plugged in. Yeah, see how the cords have lit up? That tells you have power. Now, next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to get our fan plugged in. So as you can see, it's just a regular standard cord. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check our air to make sure that the heater and the fan are working together. So in order to do that, this is going to seem a little strange, this may seem a little odd, but what I've found is the best thing to check for that is just get a standard roll of toilet paper. Tear you off a piece maybe 12, 14 inches long. You're going to want to hold that between your fingers like this. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn on the fan, and we're going to make sure that the heater and the fan are actually working in concert together. And the easiest way to do that is we turn this fan on. See, we have air blowing towards the back wall. What we want to do is we want to take that paper. See how that paper is flapping? And as we come this way, Excuse me, I gotta move that out of my way real quick. See how it's coming back towards the heater now? See how you have the airflow? See how we got airflow going that way? Now we want to go on the other side of the bed. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make sure that air is coming through. In this particular case, the sheet's blocking. As you can see, we got good airflow between the box spring and mattress. Not so much down here. So what we want to do is go ahead and lift that up. See how that paper's moving now? Now we have air. As you come to this piece of furniture, see how it's pulling back towards your fan and back around in a circle. See how we, because we've already established that they're working together and that we have our convection and we have our vortex working. So what we want to do now is we want to energize the heater. Walk on over here. Let's turn our fan on. High speed is normally best. Now's another good time to take out your air gauge and check it one more time to make sure you don't have to do any final adjustments. Now's a good time to take a look at your Pt2B. See how we have the openings here? That's going to allow some of your heat to leave the room. So what you want to do is take your reflective insulation. You're going to want to put it over your return. Take this top edge down. What that's going to do is that's going to block the air from leaving, and it's going to keep the air in the room. It also works as a reflecting to send the air back to the heater. What you're going to want to do here is you want to make sure you cover this return so you don't lose any air. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take this reflecting, just put you one tab on there just to hold it in place. And then what you want to do is you want to run one entire length of tape down the top edge like this. Then you're going to want to run a third one. Now you're going to take the bottom side and you're going to fold it outwards so that it goes underneath tight, as like so. That's how you seal your return. You do the same thing on both sides, and what happens is as the heat comes, it keeps it from escaping out of the return from the through-wall unit. Okay, our heaters have been running now for a couple hours, so now what we need to do is a couple of things. One, as you can see, I've repositioned the heater because what we found is we had a pretty heavy infestation behind this behind this headboard, between the baseboard and the carpet. So what we want to do now is we want to direct that heat directly to that infestation to make sure that everything gets up to temperature. Next thing we want to do is we want to take a temperature probing gun. Okay, now we want to check our surface temperatures. We want to make sure we're probing everything. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lift this stuff up. You want to shine your gun under there and you want to check your temperatures. Anything laying flat like this, you want to pick that up. You want to check your temperature underneath to make sure you're getting saturation. Under here is a big area because what you got here is a good heavy blanket on top of another blanket. So you want to shine your light up, you want to shine your probe under there to make sure. If for some reason this blanket is causing you a problem as far as your heat goes, you just want to remove it from the bed. So as you can see, what I've done here is taken the blanket that was laying on the bed, I draped it over television. That's going to accomplish two things. One, it's going to give an extra layer of insulation to the television, but most importantly, it's going to spread the blanket out so heat can be absorbed by the entire surface. What that's going to do is take away the cold spot. Then you want to come over here. For the sake of the rest of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this off so you can hear me a little better and I don't have to scream. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to move over and we're just going to go ahead and check temperatures in all these other areas. You want to look inside your drawers. You want to look here. The big thing you also want to check is underneath things. Like, say there's something in this, say you have books or something in this drawer. You want to pick those up and you want to shine your gun underneath them to make sure the heat's actually penetrating in your drawers. The other thing you want to check is you want to check the surface of your reflectix to make sure that you're not losing temperature through it, and make sure you don't have air infiltration, because what will happen is you have a nice hot temperature and then all of a sudden it'll get cooler because you're losing air somewhere. So it's a good way to use your probe to make sure you're not losing air around your returns. So that's how you want to conduct your probes. You want to make sure all your surface temperatures are consistent. You're looking for anywhere from 125 to 140. What that's going to do is that's going to allow you to be ovicidal. You're going to start killing eggs. So you just want to make sure your temperatures are consistent, and make sure that you use a handheld gun and you check all your different surfaces to make sure you're getting even heat penetration.